Hey everybody, this is Eden May Bond from Plutonium Astrology. So there's a big week of astrology coming up, and I thought it would be really cool and fun to take that astrology through the 12 rising signs here. And we've got this big stellium happening in the sign of Pisces, and we have an eclipse that is taking place in the sign of Taurus, a solar eclipse. This solar eclipse is being hosted by Venus, who is currently exalted and making a conjunction to Neptune and is pretty close to Jupiter. So this is going to be some of the best astrology of the entire year for the most part. Let's jump into it. I'm going to share screen now, and we'll bring up the real-time clock. And what I've done is I've set Aries as the first whole sign house. I'm going to get some annotation going and draw some circles for you guys. All right. So this big stellium in Pisces, if you're an Aries rising, if you were born with Aries as the ascending sign, this stellium in Pisces is taking place in your 12th whole sign house, and it is connecting to the solar eclipse that will happen on April the 30th in Taurus. So why does this connect? It's simply because Venus is the domicile ruler of Taurus. So the domicile ruler is the planet that sort of takes care of guest planets that are in its home sign. And because Venus is in such a tremendously good dignity, a tremendously good position, she's exalted and lifted up and being celebrated, she is going to be able to provide something really good for the solar eclipse. Solar eclipses tend to denote something that is a major seed, a major new door opening. It can be a new direction or an about face. Something big and new is being seeded. You might not see it right away. Sometimes eclipses take about 6 months or later to appear. Sometimes they even occur before. Eclipses have a little bit of a strange time thing. But for Aries rising, what does this all mean in terms of these planets in your 12th house and in your second house? So the way I see it is that there is some tremendous good fortune, some kind of abundance that allows you to kind of have a little bit of where things can sort of ease off. If there's something that has been really hard with you emotionally or mentally or with your health, it's as if these things sort of dissipate right now. It's as if there's some major healing that happens and takes place for you in your life. And somehow this allows you to maybe have some new way to make some money for yourself, or to do something where you learn some new skills that can lead to making more money. But this is essentially something that gets alleviated in a house that has to do with difficult things, with things that sort of either take away our health or take us away from our identity or our ability to steer our lives in a certain direction. And with Venus and Jupiter in this house being so well dignified, this is some good fortune is happening with an area of life that is usually difficult. So difficult things are being very much alleviated by something good. And this somehow connects to your ability to make something new grow for you in terms of financial resources or assets or personal aids or helpers. It could even be food or something like this. So a really, really positive thing if you are an Aries rising. All right, let's get rid of my circles here. And we'll go ahead and move Taurus as the first house sign here. And we'll draw some new circles. And we're going to make those circles happen around the stellium taking place in your 11th whole sign house. And that eclipse is going to take place in your first whole sign house. Now, for Taurus risings, the 11th house, having Jupiter, which is the joy of the 11th house, along with an exalted Venus and Mars, there is a lot of growth and abundance. There are a lot of good, fortunate things taking place. It's as if there's a lot of support for you now out there in the world. People want to see you succeed. They want to subscribe to your YouTube channel. They want to hear your ideas and maybe potentially join with you to do something about those ideas. And it's as if there's so much good support for you out there in the world that this has a tremendous impact on you in terms of your personal identity, or in terms of your character, where it's almost as if there's a new character that is being born in the near future. And it all stems from something really good. You know, you just feel good about yourself if you're out there in the world and people want to help you succeed with what you're trying to do. So that's what I see. It's kind of simple in that way, but very, very good. All right, now if we go ahead, we'll get rid of our circles here so we can make some new circles. We're going to put Gemini as the first house, which is going to place that Pisces stellium into your 10th whole sign house, and it is going to relate to the solar eclipse that is happening in your 12th whole sign house. So there must be something really, really good happening for you in terms of personal success, some practice or exercise that you're doing, something at work or in the office. With Mars there, it's interesting too. It's almost as if among your colleagues, you have a reputation for getting things done, for being like somebody that is strong and independent and capable. And there is so much support here, potentially from bosses or from just people in the work environment. It could also be that you, and this is how I see this relating to the 12th house with that eclipse taking place, is that on the 30th, is that there's some connection with having some kind of breakthrough, potentially with health, or a breakthrough with something that is usually hard or has to do with some very lonely and difficult situations with people or with our own mental spirit. It's as if something about the workplace allows your mental health or your just your general spirits to be lifted or alleviated. Maybe if you're working on something, you're sort of alleviated from feeling depression, or your mind clears up or something like this. But there's some connection here with work being the healing instrument for you, or for your health, or for your mental well-being at this point. And then of course there is great promise of success right now for you out there in the world. So that is for Gemini risings. Now, if we go ahead, we'll get rid of our circles here, and we'll move Cancer rising to the first whole sign place, and we'll make some new circles in the 9th place. And this is going to connect to that solar eclipse that is happening in the 11th place. Now, I guess the most easiest, the most bestest, right? the lowest hanging fruit that we could say for this combination is that with so much benefic energy in the 9th house, we have planets that are religious or spiritual or philosophical. We have connection and beauty with Venus there being exalted. And then we have some kind of new door or new group that is coming online that is going to be ultimately there to support you with your life aspirations. So this could be you joining a church. This could be you joining an astrology group. This could be you traveling, and you're just out there talking to people, and they just generally support what you're doing with your life or with your ambitions. This could even be something to do with publishing. If you want to publish something, then you get, you get a new publishing deal, something like that. But there is a lot of really powerful, good, fortunate things that are happening in your 9th house. And the 9th house connects to something that is really a deeper meaning. It's how we sort of guide our overall understanding of our place in our place in our lives, our place in the world, our place in the cosmos. It's very deep house, and there is a lot of spiritual growth happening for you as far as deep understanding, and there is support there with that eclipse. So that's a wonderful thing for Cancer risings. All right, now if we go ahead, we'll clear the circles out, and let's move Leo to the first house and draw some new circles. We're going to make those circles in the 8th whole sign house, and that is going to relate to that eclipse that is taking place in the 10th whole sign house. So this definitely seems like you just have some kind of support. It could be financial support. And this has something to do with some kind of new door that opens for you in your career, in your job. Maybe you get a promotion and you're working with more accounts or something like this. This could be you're getting a lot of support from your husband or your wife or your significant other, and this allows you to pursue a new line of work. This could be your family supporting you and giving you some money, and you have some new impetus to just kind of take a new direction in life. There could be a lot of new things here, but this is kind of a place where you might also maybe potentially pay down some debt, pay down a mortgage, get an inheritance, and this could free you up from things that keep you from doing what you want to do in terms of work or career or exercising or doing something that you want to attain out there in the world, something along those lines. So that's what I'm seeing for Leo risings. All right, let's clear the circles, and we'll move Virgo into the ascending degree here. And our new circles for the stellium in Pisces will now appear in the 7th, and that will connect to that eclipse that takes place in the 9th whole sign house. This is a really fascinating one. The story that I keep seeing popping up, the story that keeps popping up in my imagination goes something like this. You meet somebody and they're the most enticing, attractive, alluring person that you've ever met, and all of a sudden you start believing something new about the meaning of your life because of this person. That is a little bit treacherous, but I could see that being maybe one possibility here. There could be a marriage proposal, and then you take a honeymoon to a far off land. There could be the culmination or completion of something that you've been trying to get done, and now it's done, and it's very beautiful, and you feel really great, and you're able to, there's like time now where you can study something that you want to study, something religious or spiritual, or get into a yoga practice or something like that, something deeper for your life. Let's see what else there could be. There could be just some beautiful social things that also have kind of an energy that has something to do with something very deep and spiritual, or reflective, philosophical, where sort of like you're at the beach and you're having a party, and it's just brings you into your a renewed sense of some deeper meaning in your life, and you think, wow, I gotta get out and do this more with people. I gotta connect with people, or I gotta do something more in my relationship. I gotta bring some more spiritual values into my marriage, or something along these lines here. So that's what I'm seeing for Virgo rising. All right, we'll get rid of our circles, and we will now put Libra rising on the ascendant. And oops. All right, and now we're going to have this big Pisces stellium connect from the 6th house to the 8th house. Something about, okay, this is some kind of thing like you need to, or you feel really good about starting some big project, or you feel like you want to open like a yoga studio and you need to get a loan, and you can. Or you need to do you get a promotion at work, or you need to do something at work, and you need your partner to take care of the kids, or maybe you need a little bit of financial support while the business gets going or something like this. But there's some big undertaking, um, either with a work or service or health, recovering health, and you're getting support um, from a significant other, or like a family, or from a financial institution, something like that. I suppose there could be an inheritance, and this enables you to do something that helps your health recover, or you're able to invest in some big project that is going to take many years to work really hard at, and you feel good about it, but something along those lines. All right, if we go ahead and clear out our circles and move Scorpio into the first whole sign house, and we're going to make some new circles now in our fifth house. And this is going to connect to the solar eclipse that is happening in the seventh house. Now, the first thing right off the bat is both of these places were traditionally associated with sex, romance, pleasure, stuff like this. So this could be a time where there just is a lot of romance, a lot of good sex, a lot of passion, or just fun and joy. There could also be somebody could get pregnant, and there could be a new direction that happens within the marriage or the relationship, because babies tend to, shift things for us a lot of times. There could be a new creative thing that's happening that's really beautiful, and you're getting support from your partner in it. Something along those lines. So there's something very beautiful and creative happening for you right now, especially since having Pisces as the creative, as the ruling sign of the creative fifth house of children, is just beautiful. And so there's something very abundant growing with creativity, and it seems as though one way or another there's just something good that happens in a relationship based on this creativity. It could be a new child, what have you. All right, so if we go ahead now and we'll clear out our circles, and let's move Sagittarius rising into the first whole sign house, and we're going to make some new circles now. This big Pisces stellium is now happening in the fourth house, and that is connecting to the eclipse that is taking place in the sixth house. So there's something at home that is there's something religious, spiritual, redemptive, something that may be having to do with wealth, and there's something at home that is really growing, and it's wonderful and it's beautiful. And this connects somehow to some kind of service or work. So we might be serving somebody at home. We might be trying to help somebody at home become redeemed or saved. Somebody at home might be trying to help us become redeemed or saved. Or it might just be that you're simply going to be soon to embark on some kind of new job or project, and you might do it at home. It could be that you build a new home and it's going to take a long time. But there's some connection with the sixth house, has to do with hard work and labor. So there's something new happening with hard work and labor. It also has to do with health. So there's something new happening with either health or something that there's some big monumental project, and it's going to come into being. There's a seed that is essentially gonna take place in some project for you in your life right now. But it is being supported one way or another through the family, through the home, through the wealth that you have, through your inner security. And there with this kind of energy in the home, it's really couldn't ask for anything better when we have this kind of love and support coming from our family or within our home. It doesn't get any better than that, because whatever else is happening out there in the world, when we come home, that's the place where we get nurtured the most. So it's really a wonderful thing. All right, if we go ahead and move now Capricorn into the first whole sign place, and we are seeing this stellium in Pisces take place in the third whole sign house. And we are seeing the eclipse that connects to that stellium happen in your fifth whole sign house. So the third place, what is this? There's something very abundant. There's some wonderful connections, maybe with relatives or family members. There's something very beautiful, and there's some huge imagination that is happening within your everyday environment. So this is a little elusive, but the third house is essentially when you leave home and come back from home. That's a third house kind of activity. If you're commuting, or if you're walking your dog, or if you're going to the grocery store, or it's all those kind of daily routines, daily rituals that has to do with kind of the local environment or your local community, your neighborhood. It also has to do with relatives, old friends. There's something very beautiful, and there's a lot of wonderful connection happening. It also is a place of mental activity. So there could be some, you might be writing your memoirs about when you were a child. You might be learning about something historical that happened in your community, and getting into journalism. This could also be something like, there are a lot of content creators. This could be doing some wonderful, making some wonderful content, and having that be really creative for you right now with that eclipse that's taking place. This could also be definitely maybe a pregnancy that comes along, and that is sort of supported and nurtured by relatives or siblings, or the community at large kind of comes together to almost rejoice in this new baby or new child. There could be like sporting things where your children join a sports team, and so you're out there making a lot more connections in your everyday kind of community. This could be a lot of things, but it definitely has to do with some growth or abundance in your everyday sort of comings and goings, and people that you meet. And there's a lot of connection, there's a lot of beauty and growth there. And it also has to do with either romance or children or sports or creativity, something that is happening, some big new seed that is happening in that area of your life. And those two things are connecting. So that's what I'm seeing for Capricorn rising. All right. Let's clear out the circles here, and we'll go ahead and put Aquarius as the first whole sign house. And we will see this Pisces stellium being located now in the second house, and it is connected to the eclipse that is taking place in the fourth house. Well, this seems to be, I guess, the most obvious thing is when you have such abundant planets, when you have planets that represent luck, good fortune, sensual contact with connections with relatives or resources, such as Venus and Jupiter, and then Mars there, you really see potentially resources, investments, something really growing. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat here. When you have Neptune here, I would say just be a little bit cautious if you come across some kind of investment that seems like you're like, oh my God, I've discovered the new, like, I'm going to, invest in this new cryptocurrency, and it's going to make me millions, something might not pan out with Neptune there. So be a little bit cautious about making investments, but it's almost seeming like how this connects to the home and family with that eclipse in the fourth. It's something like there's some resources, personal resources that help you do something with your family, or help you do something to remodel your home. One of my favorite things about all of the 12 rising signs for this time with the astrology is that a key word for an eclipse is a new door. Keywords for the fourth house are home. So you're essentially going to have a new door in a home. And now you have the finances to do it. So it could be remodeling, could be making a new house, something along those lines. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get rid of our circles for the second, and let's move Pisces into the first whole sign house. All right, it's like ding, ding, ding. We got Pisces, stellium planets happening in the first whole sign house. Why this is so exciting for Pisces rising people is because the ancients thought of the first house as theoretically the most powerful of all the 12 houses. So when you have this kind of good energy coming from planets just being packed into that first house, the house of self, of health, of uh, uh, like the steering wheel of your life, where you can sort of this is the place that you grab the wheel and you direct your life. And when you have planets here, these planets are saying you got some good luck, you got some good fortune. There are confirmations that you have a really good ability to steer your life towards a really good place. If you're having health issues, these should really improve dramatically at this time. Now, this is all connecting to the eclipse that takes place in your third whole sign house of the everyday environment. I'm seeing something like this. It's almost like potentially that you start to come into your own. You really feel confident about you as a beautiful soul, as a beautiful individual, as maybe somebody that has a great alluring quality. You almost feel like you're the most wonderful person right now. And this affects your everyday mental things, that your communications with people, the rituals and habits that you do for yourself. When you go places, you're just all cylinders are firing socially, and this is a great thing. You're telling stories, you're talking, and you're having some good connections. One thing that is potential, if you're a content creator, like there's so many content creators in the world right now, there's got to be a lot of those people would be Pisces risings, no doubt. And so this could be a time where you're making incredibly beautiful content, something along those lines. So an incredibly good positive situation for Pisces risings, as it is for pretty much all of the 12 rising signs right now. So thanks for watching, everybody. This has been my take on the last week of April, moving through the 12 rising signs with your personal horoscope, how this energy is falling into your own chart, and how we could draw some significations from these transits for you personally. I would love if you guys have any stories, go ahead and put them into the comment section. Just make sure to let me know what your rising sign is. It really helps me a lot. Astrology really is a two-way street. We just learn together. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back real soon with another video, and take care and enjoy the good benefic energy coming through in your chart in the last week of April. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.